Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of The Box Seat. Scott Embry taking you through all the racing at Ascot on Wednesday, the 27th of January. Hope you've had a ripping Australia Day with long weekend, and we're here to try and find you a winner. With the rail out 14 metres, a track a good 4, with weather conditions 25, partly cloudy. And race number 1, it is a maiden as usual. It is the Amelia Park Lodge Maiden at 1400 metres, and we're going to watch Ginger Mac with another consistent placing.
Led the way, running second over on the outside is Natural Air Chief, sticking to its task pretty well. Miss Brighton, now Fiery Bay starts to wind up, so does Pinball Player by Felicia, joined by Natural Air Chief. Fiery Bay claiming it though. Fiery Bay ranges up, it hits the front. Fiery Bay from Natural Air Chief. Fiery Bay goes home too strongly. Fiery Bay won it from Natural Air Chief.
That was Ginger Mac running third, behind Natural Air Chief, who we see on Tuesday, behind Fiery Bay, who we also see during the program. That always has been a pretty good form reference already. We saw By Felicia go down to Esperance and win. We saw Abu go for Adam Durant up to Geraldton and win. So there's already been 2 winners out of that race, albeit country racing. This is a pretty tough little maiden. I didn't think that there was a whole lot of depth to it, and so you get these horses with convictions like Ginger Mac, who's been there and thereabouts for a long, long time and is likely to be fairly hard in the market. I tried to go and find something, and I found a horse who is double nominated, both Tuesday at Bunbury and Wednesday at Ascot. So fingers crossed he goes to Ascot and he can be the on-top selection here. And that's number 10, the 3-year-old Freedom of the Press. I really like this press statement gelding's run on debut. Went down the 1,000 metre straight at Pinjarra. We know it can be very tricky at times. We see horses race greenly. We see them pretty untractable. And this was one of them that finished off really well late against the outside fence. Steps straight up to 1400 metres. I think gets his chance, Freedom of the Press. Number 10 for me. From 9, Ella Fella, looked all at sea down the 1,000 metre straight. Blinkers on, senior rider on, expecting big improvement. Number 1, Ginger Mac, just like that replay there, you know what you're going to get with this horse. Number 8, Powerful Force, who has the blinkers on for the first time. But at least against market expectations, disappointing in a short career to date. My numbers in race number 1, 10, 9, 1 and 8. Race number 2, also a maiden, Tab Touch Better Your Bet Maiden, over 1,500 metres. The horse we're going to watch in replay, her name is Minicoat, and she runs a narrow second here to Mischievous Diva.
Valenza Rascatelli sticks to the inside. O'Donnell makes his move with Mischievous Diva, and Minicoat is going to lock horns with it as well. Kaylani still though in front at the 200 mark. Mischievous Diva claimed it with Minicoat, battling away behind them. Valenza, Mischievous Diva, Minicoat together. Mischievous Diva with a neck in front. Kaylani fights back, but it's Mischievous Diva doing a little too well. Mischievous Diva.
Minicoat there got within a half length of Mischievous Diva, who's a filly of Alan Matthews that does seem to have above average ability. I'm pretty surprised that that was Minicoat's first placing, because I remember watching all these replays thinking that she was going quite well at the provincials. She did run 4th at Pinjarra the start before, and she has to be somewhere in the mix for a top 4 spot. But I do think that a lot of these maidens run into a pretty handy one here. I love the placement coming back from probably unsuitable and aggressive placements here of Dan O'Connor, and I speak of his horse here in Olden. The last 2 3-year-old plates taking on pretty premium Saturday thoroughbreds. Comes back to a midweek Wednesday maiden. I think here he is very well placed to win. Just 2 starts ago, he ran 3rd behind La Farola and Tambora. We may well see La Farola on an Oaks campaign. We may well see Tambora on a Derby preparation. So that really does look good form for a race like this. Going with race 2, number 1, as one of the better bets on the program too, and that's Olden to break through. Number 3, Surf Point, was flying late at his most recent. Chris Parnham should be able to hold up a nice midfield position from the gate, and he should go close. Number 7, King Road, a good debut, I thought, against pretty talented opponents. The trial before behind 7 Kingdoms was excellent. And then the replay horse there, Minicoat, who is going well, but might find a couple too good again. My numbers in race 2, 1, 3, 7 and 8. Race number 3 is the Glenroy Chaff Handicap. We're going to watch this horse's last start victory, the only last start winner in this field. I speak of De Talker.
The straight Nosy Bear at the 375. Jolly Odd headed for the judge, a length and a half in front. De Talker loomed as the immediate threat. They hit the 200. Jolly Odd responding. De Talker flat to the floorboards, trying to get past Jolly Odd. Jolly Odd is giving plenty down the outside. Serve point. Trisuum rattling home late. Jolly Odd's in front from De Talker. They'll hit the line. De Talker dived.
Well, De Talker gets a wonderful opportunity here to go from a maiden victory, as we just watched in replay, straight into a Class 1 and lead all the way. If this rail was at, say, 9 metres, I'd probably be relatively keen on his chances here, as that lightly raced 3-year-old taking on the older horses. But if you go through all the history of the rail at 14 metres at Ascot, the majority of winners do come 3 wide with cover winding up. So I'm going to go with a horse that's only won the once from 31 outings. It's not a typo, 1 from 31. But I think here that Keshore Do Run, Steph Vahala and Ravus really do get their chance in what might just be the last chance for him as well. He's been thereabouts all preparation. This horse ran second last start to night session. He comes from a 2,000 metre race back to an 1,800. He should be knocking on the door here, and if the door doesn't open here, we're going to close it and lock it for permanently. This will be the last chance for him for me, and that's number 7, Ravus. Number 1, Final Chill. I liked what he produced first up behind Interstate. He hit the line hard, and 1,800 metres should be right up his alley. Number 9, Next Best, Port Beach. Coming from a 3-year-old Metro Mile back into a Class 1 1,800 has to be an easier class of race. And then the replay horse there, De Talker. Can't wait to see whether this horse can lead all the way or not, because history says he's probably up against it. My numbers in race number 3, 7, 1, 9 and 2. Race number 4 at Ascot, the Salinger Handicap over the Flying 1,000. We go down the road to Pinjarra Park, down the 1,000 metres straight to watch the last start win of Boss Nip.
The track going up now is Spicy Dancer looking for the lead with Centenary Road, who wobbled a bit there coming onto the course proper with Bosnip joining it. It was being tracked up in turnover on the inside by Bazel. Bosnip, though, the leader coming to the 200 mark by a length and a half to Bazel. Centenary Road behind those, Spicy Dancer. Bosnip keeps going down the outside trying to rally Spicy Dancer, but Bosnip's got their measure and Bosnip won it quite comfortably over 2 lengths at the finish. Second, Spicy.
Well, that was Bosnip winning down the 1,000 metres straight at Pinjarra Park, and we probably can't underestimate just how good a win that was, because Bosnip wasn't right up against that outside fence, which at the moment at Pinjarra is clearly the better going down the straight. I thought the win was full of merit, and this mare's always had a bit of a following ever since she went to Lark Hill and Radcliffe's of Comfort off his legs before he burst onto the scene and won 3 from 3. She took a while, but I think now with some confidence, drawn the inside gate, she gets a really good chance to win a Class 1 here. But in the end, I couldn't get past that 3-year-old Metro form when last in work of the resuming horse here, number 1 in Lording. First up, no trial, but the blinkers go on. He has carried weight before. He has to carry weight here. He's drawn a gate where he may well find himself 3 wide the trip, but I really don't mind with the rail at 14 metres. As long as Troy Turner keeps him in his rhythm here, if he could reproduce any of those runs that saw him run second behind Riverbow, he beat home horses like Platinum Bullet, a 66 plus winner, like Captain Kink, a 66 plus winner. Really, really good form for a race like this. So I'm siding with number 1 here in Lording at his return. 3, Bosnip, clearly that 1,000 metre straight form is always going to be questioned going to their next outing, but personally, I'm a bit of a fan of the straight form. Number 5, Hot Technique, who might, like Lording, have to do it tough out deep. And then the speedy mare, Rock the Planet, 1,000 metre specialist. She's always a chance, this mare. My numbers in race number 4, 1, 3, 5 and 6. Race number 5 is the Schweppes Handicap. The question is going to be, can Bombardment make it back-to-back wins? Here he is destroying them last start.
Very wide entering the home straight. Volpe's the leader. Bombardment comes again. She stokes up the leader. Volpe going to the 250. Bombardment trying to get on equal terms. Now gets square. Grabs the lead. Bombardment for Bennett, who draws the Persuader. Kicks away. Bombardment looked home from Volpe. Aoka Frost down near the rails and then all on black, but it's going to be Bombardment. Bombardment too good here. Very well.
Well, I personally see absolutely no reason why Bombardment can't win again. You go back 2 starts ago, he ran 3rd at Ascot in a Class 5. He then dropped back miles in class, as Neville Parnham tends to do, into a 46 plus country race that was transferred to Bunbury from an abandoned meeting at Narrogin. It was exceptionally good placement, should I say. It paid off in dividends. Christy Bennett rode that day. Chris Parnham rides here on Wednesday. Draws a gate where he can sit right over the speed, right in behind the speed, pretty much however Chris would like to ride this horse. And clearly by this stage of the day, track pattern will probably dictate that to an extent. I think this is a really good placement again. Class 5, 46 plus, Class 3. It's basically split the difference between the last two runs. Class 3 somewhere between a Class 5 and a 46 plus. Chris Parnham, Neville Parnham, Bombardment for me in race number 5. Number 2, Indominus, really good run 3 starts ago, really good run 2 starts ago, absolute shocker last start, not quite sure what went wrong. If you can forgive him and forget that last start effort, then he has to be near on favourite in a race like this. Number 7, Laylo, winner of 2 of her last 4. This mare's going really well for Kelly Grantham. No reason why she couldn't give some real cheek out in front again. Number 10, Next Best, Champagne Gal, has a wide gate, but you just never know, might be a blessing in disguise. My numbers in race number 5, 5, 2, 7 and 10. Race number 6 at Ascot, the Heineken 3 handicap at 1200 metres. We're going to go back 2 starts ago to watch the first up run for Corrine Maynard with her new acquisition, Jaguar Grey.
150 Mindari went out after under the radar, a length and a half to Jaguar Grey, which is letting down, but under the radar had kicked at the 200 under the radar, a length and a half. Jaguar Grey followed further back then by on the outside Pure Dynamite. Domini is running on. Jaguar Grey's got to the lead though. Katona's finishing full of running. They hit the line and Jaguar Grey first up was one. Jaguar
Given a peach by Kira Yule there from a good gate. Jaguar Grey scored at her first run for the new stable. They then dropped back in distance, 1100 back to 1000. They went to a Saturday race as well and Will Chino simply ran them all ragged. Gets back to a 1200 here, gets the luxurious claim for Inform Apprentice in Lactar Rummelly. Drawn a wide gate, but I am hoping and predicting that all these winners will be coming 3 wide with cover, 3, 4 or even 5 horses off the fence. So I'm actually happy enough with that wide draw here for Like a Jaguar. And I think the grey is pretty hard to hold out in this Class 3. Well placed, hard to beat for mine. A horse that was in the exact same last start form reference race behind Will Chino was Shapeshifter for Lindsay Smith. Paul Harvey returns to the saddle here, who does know this mare quite well. She's versatile, they can go forward, they can go back. And I dare say by this stage of the day they might just snag her back and try and join that 3 wide train. Number 4, Indigo Wild, they put in a tactic change last start to ride this mare on speed, and everything that could go wrong, did go wrong. Her previous form was all pretty good. I think those top 3 do have a bit of an edge on the rest. Number 10 I'm putting in for 4th as a Maddie for the novelty players out there. Keeper's Tail, who always seems to put in a cheeky run from time to time at a price. My numbers in race number 6, 5, 6, 4 and 10. Race number 7, the Marywell Handicap, and I'm very keen to watch this replay and bet into this race. This is Celtic Diva getting beaten a nostril last start by Winnifer.
Ukbar Ted making that sustained run. Celtic Diva's behind those. The Roan Ranger hit the front at the 200 mark, defiantly sticking with it. Now Celtic Diva. Here comes Celtic Diva down the outside with Winnifer. On the outside, Celtic Diva. The Roan Ranger comes back. Winnifer's driving at them. They hit it in the head bubble. Winnifer, I thought.
The entire way up the home straight, I was pretty confident that Celtic Diva was going to be able to do enough to hold off the late charge of Winnifer. But Winnifer just got the better of her in the last couple of strides. Celtic Diva drops from a 66 plus back to a 56 plus, so she effectively comes back 5 kilos in a handicap sense. She goes right up in the weights, but she draws a soft gate, and this opposition here really is inferior to anything she's seen this preparation. Alan Matthews and Paddy Carberry combined on the weekend to win the Australia Day Trophy, and I'm pretty confident they win the last at Ascot on Wednesday with Celtic Diva. Race 7, number 2, my best bet, in the last. Number 3, Proxy, might only come out of 58 plus rating at Geraldton, but I think if Lucy Warwick's allowed to find the front, this old boy's always hard to run down in the finish. Number 4, Conquered Zone, the jury's almost out for him. He puts in a good run fresh and then a little bit of a below par one second up. Interested to see where he's at third up into the prep, but he draws a nice gate. I then go to the top weight, who he tipped into 7 days ago. I wasn't overly disappointed with his run. I thought it might have been a little bit better than what it looks to the eye, all things considered, and that's Bold Success. My numbers in race number 7, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Best bets at Ascot on Wednesday the 27th of January. I'm going race 2, number 1, Olden to break his maiden status, and then very keen in the last. Race 7, number 2, Celtic Diva. Follow Perth Racing, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, plenty of platforms to see all the action.